Hey everybody, welcome to Subspace Apps Sync. This is October 4th, 2022. Let's get started. First up in the done column, update area report link. This is a part of our, so to conclude, last week we concluded our trail of bits audit. So now we're doing a lot of the audit fixes to get ready to resolve that. So the first one I have is number 7, which is updating the area report link. If you want to talk about it really quickly, Ozgun, I think it's
Yeah,
pretty
sure.
straightforward.
In case of any error or something like that, we were displaying a Discord join link invite, which can expire and expired in this case. So instead of just renewing the invite link, we inserted a permanent link to our forum.
Awesome, excellent. Remove duplication and hard-coded values. That's number 9. That's also Ozgun.
Yeah, this is just technical, like some hard-coded values were duplicate. We fixed that.
Awesome. I think this was a big one. Number 8 is the same thing with you, Ozgun. Again, validating the data lifecycle, doing it sooner.
Yeah, so we were actually starting some stuff, and after checking farm disks related to farmer, and if that fails, the side effects were there, for example, starting the relayer service or other things. And like after the audit, they suggested us to make the checks, perform the checks in the beginning, which makes sense. Of course, we just missed that part. So now everything is good.
Awesome. Trail of Bits code quality recommendations. This is not explicitly the audit issues, but this is one of the recommendations. I think this was Chacha, Serge, and Ozgun. All of you guys are on it.
Yeah, I think everybody contributed to this one. It's basically a bunch of relatively minor code quality issues which were fixed.
Okay, perfect. Good job, guys. Ivan, investigating the memory usage of telemetry.
Yeah, so basically, I had an idea that maybe deploying like several shards will help for the telemetry. So, and it ended up that it helped. So we basically deployed another like 2 or 3 shards, I believe. Oh yeah, actually 3 shards right now. Yeah, I should submit a PR updating the deployment. So yeah. But basically, the issue was that the shard couldn't like serialize all the data which it received and bundle it and send it to the core. So yeah, that's why like memory leaked. So yeah, hopefully it got fixed.
Okay, awesome. Thanks for doing that. Number 3, improper air handling. I think. Oh yeah, this is the larger one, right?
Yeah, I submitted PR to fix this. So the problem was that in many places, which is like an old code base, there were places that the error was logged, but we didn't handle it like on UI. So if something was broken, the user won't know about that. So basically, we fixed that, and every time we have an error with auto launcher and anything like that, we will display an error UI.
Perfect. I think that's going to be really helpful for the users. I think this is associated to an issue, so I'll find it later. But this is the logarithm map situation. If you want to talk about it.
Yeah. So previously, there was a different scaling, which didn't look good when you have like some nodes are concentrated in some locations, like in Dresden or other cities, and it looked ugly because we have a lot of high concentration of nodes. So we use a logarithmic scale. So, and you can see on the screenshot how it will look now once we enable node data.
Okay, perfect. And we'll get back to that, but I don't think I have a ticket for that in the no data section. But okay, cool. This one's pretty straightforward. We moved all the changes to Subspace customization branch, so we don't have to talk about it too much. But just for everyone to know, this is where we actually officially deploy to production. So to simplify our deployment process, we decided to update and move here. Previously, we just had a separate branch because we were testing some fixes. Fix and update default plot directory?
I
Natasha?
was part of the simple recommendation issues, and that was also my first PR. And yeah, we fixed that so the plot directory doesn't break in case there are files already on the main directory of the application.
Okay, perfect, and congrats on your first PR. And these are all the PRs associated with the issue we talked about. So perfect. Excellent work, everybody. That's great. Here's proof that I'm gonna archive all the cards again in case it happens again next week. So great job. It's going great. Blocked again. We haven't forgotten about this table. We're gonna come back once we get rid of our other priorities, but this will be revisited, mainly related to desktop. In progress. Issue number 1, group right. I think this is a larger issue. It was good. You want to talk about the status?
So, okay, let me quickly refresh my mind. All right, so we were creating a config file, and all operating systems behave differently. For example, on Windows, we don't have to do anything because this config file is written inside the user's file, and any other user cannot access any other user's directory by default. So we don't have to do anything. But in Linux, other users in the same group will have access for reading and writing, and for macOS, only for read. So for macOS and Linux, we changed the permissions so that only the current user has the read and write permission to the configuration file. Because a potential attack scenario would be like another user can mess with this file and change the reward address, and that is something we definitely don't want to do.
Okay, cool. I think that sounds pretty straightforward. So, all right, let's keep that posted on that. Number 6, I know we had some conversations during the dev sync, but I believe most of these were resolved, but we're waiting for upstream changes, correct?
True. For one of them, XMLRS, it is not maintained. Yeah, I volunteered on changing something. If I have enough freeze time, I can work on that, or like I couldn't find a replacement for that.
Okay. Let's revisit this. I know that we are still waiting on some other issues, so this might not be that important of a priority. Also, given the fact that we have some time and we're doing pretty good on getting these resolved. So let's revisit this later. I'm gonna work on this one just to give Justin a heads up. I wanted to fix the contributor workflow because I think it's spammy, so I'll get that done soon. But pretty much, I think every time you open a contribution, it just repeats the same name. So I'd like to either fix it or turn it off. So I'll get to that. So let's see, limit update number of nodes. All right, let's go through this, and I want to get back to the data that we need to enable. But Ivan, I think this is yours.
Yeah, it's actually in progress. Yeah, I probably should update it also. Yeah, as I'm working on actually like bundling all the node updates and actually enabling like the node list. Yeah, which was disabled by the surge on the front end, and like all the updates which were disabled like previously. So yeah, I have the hypothesis that maybe we will have like less bandwidth usage and less CPU usage if we would send like all the updates in a bundle, and we'll send them like every second, for example. So yeah, that's the idea right now. I mostly finished that, so yeah, I think I will publish it today or tomorrow.
Okay, and I think I don't have an explicit issue, but I think for the map view that Serge is working on, and also for us to bring the list view, I think we need to have data re-enabled in the backend, correct?
Yeah, I actually look at resources. Yeah, the front end implies that but you should enable like all the details. Yeah. So, but yeah, it will either need like enabling from the backend, or just enabling or just like decoupling the location and the node state, like for example, like hardware stats and etc. from the node state. So yeah.
Okay, that sounds good. So I'll create a ticket for this, but I think since it sounds like you're almost done with this, I guess we can finish this up. But I think this one's going to be high priority. So if you can get that resolved, because that way we can start we need to bring back the map and list view like as soon as possible. So please make this a priority on re-enabling this list data view, and I'll formalize into a ticket.
Well,
Sorry, go
I
ahead.
think we can re-enable data assigned to me, and I will handle everything once backend is ready. Because the limit updates and number of nodes should fix everything on the backend, right?
Oh, is that how we're tracking this, Ivan? You're also doing the data by limiting the updates?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then I'm gonna close this ticket.
Oh, just assign to me.
This one?
Yeah.
Oh, because you're talking about the front end specifically. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Sure. All right. Then I will make that ticket to represent the front end changes. No problem. Cool. Export no list. We already went through this. We need to talk about that later. But this would be. I think we should try to get to this if anyone can. This is on the Rust end, so we should probably figure this out, and we can talk about that more in detail. We talked about this last week, so I think we're good to skip on that. Excellent. Let's see. Hold on. Let me open up the desktop just really quickly. Just want to go over the milestones together. As I mentioned earlier, I will be opening queue for milestones for us to track, but just to see how we're doing on audit 3. So this looks good. We have about 3 left. So great work, everyone.
I think we lost one. There was an issue on separating front end and back end.
Yeah, the issue, sorry, the PR completed, it was auto merge enabled. That's why.
Oh, this one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's reopen it then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. I was like, wow. Okay, cool. No problem. All right, excellent. And as I mentioned, I'm going to start opening up Q4 milestones for us to track our various initiatives on our end. So I will more to be updated, and then I will probably set up a separate meeting for us to kind of discuss that together outside of our sprint planning like this.
So that one in triage should be in progress because it was closed automatically and we did not cover that.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, let me fix this here. Put it right up here. Cool. Everything looks good. Yes.
Yeah, if we could discuss what's our decision on the separation between front end and back end.
Yeah, that issue, like issue 5.
Because we wanted to discuss it with Trail of Beads, whether we should,
Yes. I had a thread. Hold on. Let me try to remember what the discussion was. I pinged like some last Wednesday about this, about the concerns about the system compromise. I think if I'm trying to summarize this, so don't quote me on this too hard, but essentially their concern is like there's going to be like a XSS vulnerability on the front end. So like essentially if there is some way the front end acts as like a third party, a compromised third party packages, I think that's where this problem could be. So
if you can click on the issue 5, actually there is not much left to do for that part. That is the issue that got lost in this meeting. Okay. So there are 2 things actually that front end has too much privilege on. One of them is file system. Second one is shell. Second one is used only for adding a login item for the macOS. And I already fixed that with a PR. That's why it merged during our sync and this issue got closed. The file system will need some changes both to backend and front end, but I think we can handle that within a couple of days. If we don't want to do that, we can discuss it. But I think this issue, like insufficient privilege separation between front end and backend, it is more minor than we assumed previously.
Perfect. My perspective in general is that if we get an auto report and we can make those fixes rather quickly, I'd much rather we do that instead of negotiating with the audit to make sure that we're in alignment. So if we can accomplish this, fix it, and then they accept our resolution, that is the best outcome in my opinion. So Huskin, if you feel like we can get this done, then I'm all for continuing with this, and let's not worry about pushing back on the auditors.
What others think about it? Like, it's just my opinion.
What does everyone?
Yeah, I think on the front end, it won't require too much changes because we are moving everything on the back end. And so if it's good for us, then it's good for me.
Yeah, it's just file reads and creations or folders, so it's fine.
Okay. Natasha, Ivan, anyone else have any opinions on that? Cool. Well, then looking forward to getting that fixed and sending it back to the auditors. Awesome. The rest of this we don't need to discuss right now. I think this is fine. Okay, well, we can talk about that later. I think that's got messed up in the board. I think that concludes most of what we've done this week, but great work as always. Is there anything else you guys want to discuss before we wrap up this meeting? Going once, twice. Okay, well, yes, go ahead.
Actually, I have something, yeah. Should we move like discussion about the Subspace SDK to some other meeting? Or we can discuss it here?
Yeah, we're gonna be discussing it here. So yes, telemetry is kind of the priority. So I know we haven't been focused on SDK and SCLI, but once we can get those fixes in, we're gonna start moving back over to SDK and SCLI. But is there anything you want to talk about specifically? We should be doing it in this meeting to answer your question.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I mean, I can just show a PR. Yeah, which I've made. Yeah. I didn't show it like Jeremiah yet. Yeah, but I will send him it today. Yeah. So just as an example code, how the like the Rust API will look like for the Subspace SDK. So let me share.
Yeah, just take me off the here. I'll just stop presenting.
Okay. Give me a minute. Yep. So here it is. So yeah, basically, like the simplest example for the Rust SDK, it will look like this. So yeah, at first you will need to build a node. So for example, you just call the builder here and supply like all the arguments, which actually most of those are can be just emitted. So for example, here like we at first supply just the mode of the node, the network to which we want to connect, and just the directory. That's all the necessary fields which we need to supply in order to build the node. Yeah, and in the end, we will get the node, which won't be running yet. So we will need to call explicitly the seek. Yeah, and same goes for the farmer. Yeah, it goes the same way. So you just need to supply a node. Oh, yeah.
Sorry to interrupt, but like await call on the node itself, is it like blocking? Like how does it work? Like sync await.
You mean this one or this one?
The last one.
This or on the
sync? Yeah, sync await.
Oh,
yeah.
I believe yes. I believe yes. You'll just block until it will be yeah, until you will be sync. Yeah.
Okay.
But you can run it on the background. Yeah. So yeah. But as for the more verbose example, yeah, it's actually so yeah, let me just press unified. Yeah. So the thing is, this example, it's actually the same example as it was done by Jeremiah for the TypeScript. So here we have the node. Yeah, we can supply its name, we can supply its port, we can give some directory for it. Yeah, same goes for the farmer. Yeah, we can supply the exact directory apart from the temporary one. We can supply the WebSocket RPC. Yeah, we can supply the reward address. Yeah, everything. Yeah, the callbacks are looking nice also. Like we need to supply the. Yeah, we'll need to call explicitly like which callback we want to supply. So for example, here, like for the farmer, we supply the callback for the for receiving solution. So we just print it here. Yeah, it's also can be asynchronous. So
Is there a callback for syncing, like syncing start, syncing finished?
not yet, but but it can be done, I believe. So yeah,
That
Oh,
would be
also-
very useful for client applications,
Mhm.
so we can track progress.
Okay, yeah. I will leave a comment here, yeah, after the meeting. Yeah, so but the main thing then, yeah, is that this whole thing it compiles right now. Yeah, and it can be discussed, yeah. Ozgan, do you want me to add you as a reviewer here?
Actually, it would be wonderful. And since I have you here, let me ask one more question.
Mhm.
I understood the node sync, but what does farmer sync do? Like, is it just plotting?
It syncs the plot. It actually, yeah. So here it is. You just supply the plot description here,
Yeah.
and after that, it will try to plot at first, like all the to sync from the DSM actually. Yeah. So
Oh,
sorry.
this farmer sync is related to DSM. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, I see.
So yeah, that's how it looks. Yeah. That's all on my end.
Looks cool.
Great.
Yeah, I can't comment on the Russism, but it does look great, and I'm excited for the event loop because I think it's going to be great for us to do reporting on the desktop UI and of course the CLI. But excellent work. Any other comments? We'll start formalizing more SDK CLI discussions next week once we start cleaning up our priorities of telemetry. So just a heads up. Anything else? Well, in that case, great work as always, and we will see everyone next week.